Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing today? So I wanted to do this video because I'm getting some increasing questions about why I am not concerned about the rise in forbearance, the rise in serious delinquencies, and just the general stress in the single-family home market. Before we get into a model spreadsheet with kind of my thoughts, I want to make it clear. I believe there are some urban cities, some vertical cities, San Francisco, New York, for example, that are in significant trouble. These cities are likely to see the cascading pain that some cities experienced only 14 years ago, 13 years ago. I do not see national pain. I do believe there will be some local pain and some really significant local pain. But there's a lot of people talking about a national pain in the real estate market. So I thought I would share my thoughts. I thought I would share my experience from last time and really highlight why I'm not as concerned as others. So let me just bring up this spreadsheet. It really has just some base level set metrics and then a model that you and I are going to walk through. So hopefully this helps. Oh, here it is. So let me share this with you. First the left side, and then we will go through the model together. Hopefully this keeps up. So just to level set, 2019, the last full year of single family homes, we sold roughly 5.3 existing homes and 680 new homes. So let's just call that 6 million single family homes were sold last year. When we talk about the Great Recession, the best number I could find is there was about 10 million homes lost in the Great Recession, spanning from 2006 through 2014. Why was there so much pain for so long? Well, part of the reason you will hear us talk about later, but not all states handle foreclosure in an expedient fashion. California, for example, you can get from your first missed payment to sale on the courthouse steps in about 7 to 9 months. New York, Florida, it's years. So again, an REO in New York is not the same as an REO in San Francisco. They will be processed in a far different timeline. That's why people making blanket national statements just don't understand. Going back to the Great Recession, the worst year for foreclosures was 2009, and it was just over 2.8 million homes went through the REO process, meaning they went back to the bank sold them. So again, that's the worst year on record. That year, the Great Recession was a single family story. And one of the things that I think is clear today is, yes, there might be some stress in single family, and there undoubtedly is, but the greatest pain is in hotels, office, retail, multifamily, and then single family is like an afterthought. So what banks are going to do is they are going to realize they have greater pain elsewhere, and they're going to be very open in many cases to working with single family home owners. So let's finish up the left side. So what I have found about 2020 is, as of right now, early October, existing homes for sale, listed and available, are about 20% below last year, meaning the inventory is below last year by 20%. And near as I can tell, we have about 1.8 million homes listed for sale across the country for a whopping 3.3 month supply, a record low. So now let's get to the question of forbearance. I believe we have about 8 million in forbearance. I think there's two buckets. There's the government forbearance. And again, you could change these numbers for your model anytime you would like. But the last number I found was about 4.7 million. And I am rounding just to make it easier math. And then there is private bank forbearance. And I think I misspelled forbearance there. Sorry, let's fix that. Just looks silly. Get rid of the E. Okay, I don't spell well. So again, we have about 8.2 million loans in forbearance as of today. Feel free to adjust as you see fit. So here's the deal. This is what I see coming, is I see banks working with people. So let's go over to the right side now. And this is where we are going to do a low and a high run through just to figure out what we have for potential REOs and short sales. So why do I believe, why I'm not so scared of 8.2 million? Well, there's several reasons. First and foremost, I believe there is a certain percentage of people in the program that see it as a way to get a free lunch. I don't know what that percentage is, but let's say on the low end, it's 5%. 5% of the people in the program didn't need it. They had the money somewhere. They could have paid. Maybe they still have their job. Maybe their spouse still has their job. They could have paid without any stress. But hey, a year with no mortgage, why not? They signed up for the program. So again, on the low end, I'm going to say 5%. We will come through this again and look at the high end in a minute. Next, this program in the CARES Act is available for 12 months as it's currently constructed, and I would argue it will be extended. It comes up for a reset every 3 months or 90 days. What percentage of people can get a job in a year that are in this program? I don't know. Why don't we say 20%? 20% of the people that start this program because they rightfully lost their job because of the health crisis, let's only assume 1 in 5 can get a job, but in a year of unemployment, that's a long time. But let's say it's only 1 in 5, again, being purposely low. Next, what percent of people have equity? Here's the deal. You may be in a house you've owned for 10 years. You may have 50% equity, but for whatever reason, you can't make your payment because you lost your job. In a normal environment, you would simply maybe go get an equity line, or you would just sell your home. You would sell your home. It would not be an REO. It would not be a short sale. It would not be a distressed sale. It may be a forced sale, but it would not be a distressed or REO sale. So how many folks do you think are in this program that have greater than 10% equity? I don't know, 20%? Again, feel free to use any number you want. Shoot, make it 15%. I don't know. This is why I'm not concerned though. And then finally, I believe a lot of folks today have 30-year fixed rate mortgages with 2s, 3s, and 4s on them. Last time I went through this crisis, they were variable rate loans. They were not attractive paper to own. Today, if they're 30-year fixed loans, that paper has value. You can do subject to or wraps. Now, yes, the loans could be called, but trust me, a bank who is not getting payments will enjoy getting payments from somewhere else. I will look to pick up as many subject to properties in Fresno, California as I can, because if I can get into their payment stream with a mortgage rate that low, it's valuable. So let's assume again, it's only 10% on the low end. So what we have done just with those 4 examples, and I'm sure there are others where you could strip away availability, we have taken the total forbearance from 8.2 down to 4.9. So I see that as the high end, right? 4.9. And then let's remember the 4.9 is not a tidal wave. It's not a tsunami. They don't all come on the market at the same time. In California, they'll come on within 7 to 10 months. In New York or Florida, it'll be years. Folks, 4.9 million scattered over 3 years is a drop in the bucket. There will be some cities, San Francisco comes to mind, that's going to get hammered. They're in a non-judicial state, California. There is going to be lots of people giving up on their property. So San Francisco could get smoked and smoked quickly. But New York, you have to foreclose through a judge. You're going to be just like last time. There were foreclosures last time in New York that took 5 years. Just like this inventory is not going to show up tomorrow. There is no tidal wave. It is going to be a drip, a drop in the bucket. So this is the low end. Let's go back through these numbers and go on the opposite side. So what percent of people in the program but don't need it? I guessed on the low end 5% earlier. Let's say it's 15%. What percent of people can get a job in 12 months? I would assume it's 50%. Again, this is the high end, so feel free to use whatever number you would like. What percent of people have more than 10% equity? I think it's a good 30%. Now they'll still sell, but it won't be a forced sell. And then what percent of people have what do I got here? How does this add up? 40, 65, 95. So that's, yeah. So this, let's say it's 40% here because I get rid of the property pretty quickly in this case. Let's say it's still 10% available for wraps in subject to. That takes the available forbearance or foreclosures and short sales from 8.2 down to 820. Again, this is spread out over the country. Some states will be relatively fast, 7 to 9 months. Others will take years. There will be cities in trouble. But the inventory that is going to come out of this will be drips, not a wave. There will be plenty of owner occupants ready to go, especially if Joe Biden wins the presidency and he creates a $15,000 tax credit for new homeowners. We will not see stress in the single family home market. We are going to see stress in hotels. We're going to see stress in office, in retail, and in multifamily, especially Class A. I am not concerned about 8.2 million homes in forbearance. So again, the numbers are between there. You know, I think there could be 3 million homes out of 8 million that foreclose or go REO. I don't think it'll be as low as 1 million. I don't think it'll be as high as 5. It'll be 3 million, 3.5. But again, that will be spread out over 50 states. States handle them differently. Go back and look at how long it takes to foreclose in New York, and then how long it takes in California, how long in Texas. Folks, these national numbers, they're not going to come in waves. It just doesn't work that way. Again, once you're serious, it's in California, it's one of the shortest foreclosure process. It's around 7 months. It's not going to happen in 2021. We are under building houses. The map is tilting. So again, I am not terribly concerned. I lived through the last environment. I saw what happened to a market that got unaffordable. I was in a market that had 50% whacked off. It took 6 years, but I saw it up close and personal. Every month it was lower and lower and lower and lower. I saw foreclosures. I bought foreclosures. Believe me, if I'm ready for it, but it's not going to happen next year. It doesn't go that way. Last time was entirely single family housing based. This time it's hotels, it's office, it's retail, it's oil and gas, it's hospitality. Single family is going to be the least of the problems. So that's why I'm not concerned. I hope that makes sense. Thanks.